Right, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, and hopefully everyone can hear me this time. First and foremost, I apologize to everyone who's listening in the previous stream. I didn't know I could hear myself, so but clearly no one could hear me. I should have fixed all the audio issues now, so hopefully everyone should be able to hear me. We're going to get this started properly again. So, but anyway, we'll do this right. So now and I'll learn for next time that this issue shouldn't be a problem again. Anyway, what's the big deal anyway? Because at the end of the day, it's just Liverpool playing. And it just means that I could discuss everything that I talked about beforehand. So anyway, let's get stuck into it. So my name is Oman G. Welcome to Red Devil Studio. This is Top 10 United Players Weekly. It's a weekly show where we basically look at the top 10 players for Manchester United over the last week, who you think should be in the team, who you feel shouldn't be. It's really an appreciation, really, and an encouragement for United players who we feel deserve that sort of recognition. So before I get into the top 10 players, first of all, I just want to remind everyone of the top 10 players that were in last week's video. So as you can see, it is David De Gea. Then you have Brandon Williams, Harry Maguire, Matic, Shaw, Fernandez, Eric Bailly as fourth, Martial, Wan-Bissaka, and then Fred. So that was basically our top 10 last week. And as I said, week on week, some players will drop out of the top 10, some players will come in. But let's crack on. Let's go in because this is basically a rerun. So yeah, let's crack on. Let's go into who I feel, in my opinion, are the top 10 Manchester United players, or who have been a top 10 for Manchester United over the last period. So at number 10 right now is Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly, for me, Eric Bailly, he goes in at number 10. Yes, he didn't play against Watford, but he obviously did come in for the Europa League side against Club Brugge. In the performances that he has come in, he's kept a clean sheet in both appearances. He's a rock at the back. He's comfortable in the ball. He's good in the air. Eric Bailly, as I've said multiple times, I'm a fan of Eric Bailly, and I just feel that he, if he's fit, should be one of our first choice centre backs going forward. I genuinely believe he should be, because he's just got all the attributes that we need, So he's good in the air, he's good on the ball, and he's comfortable. Yes, he can make a few mistakes. Yes, he can be a bit rash, but that's the nature of defenders sometimes. You get a really, really good game sometimes, and they can have a bad game. But the way I sort of see with Eric Bailly is that, like, we get the best of both worlds with this guy, and I just feel that he's the best going forward. Now, it's quite possible that Eric Bailly will drop out to number 10 next week, just depending on whether he plays or not. So, but given the fact that he was quite high up last week, it doesn't make sense for him to be completely out, given the fact that he still kept a good clean sheet and made the necessary tackles against Club Brugge. So I feel Eric Bailly stays at number 10. So there you go. Right, so just moving on to number 9, Odion Ighalo. Ighalo in at number 9. So this guy, and then we've got a lot of this isn't a sympathy thing or anything like that. I just think that Odion Ighalo, I'm just so happy for him. I'm really, really happy for Odion Ighalo and what he's continuing to do at Manchester United Football Club. I feel that with Ighalo scoring his first goal for United, I think that will give him momentum to go on and push on forward. But more importantly, I just feel that with Ighalo, and this is the thing, this is the difference I think between a number 9 and a winger, because I do feel that Martial's best position, he's a good number 9, but I still feel he's a good finisher. But Martial's best position for me is as a left winger, and I say that because you can see with Ighalo that Ighalo is not only is his hold up play good, but you can see him always wanting to go into the box. That's number 9, always creating space, always creating opportunities so you can go in the ball and try and do something. With Ighalo, we can get it's another body in the box, let's put it that way. And that might be something simple to many people, but the reality is that even though as United we struggled to create chances up until this point, one of the things that did happen, I did notice a lot of times, that when we did create and we did whip balls in the box, like with Wan-Bissaka and with Shaw, there often wouldn't be anybody there in the box to basically be on the end of them. So in this circumstance, now that we have Ighalo, we have someone who can really push on and help us to go forward. So, you know, in my opinion, Ighalo for that goal, and, you know, God bless his late sister, you know, who passed away, who dedicates the goal to. But I just hope, you know, that this is one of many, and that Ighalo continues to go from strength to strength and really help us at Manchester United. So moving on to position number 8, David De Gea, who sort of climbed up in the ranks slightly. David De Gea comes up. And why is David De Gea up? Because David De Gea is up because he's here because he's kept clean sheets. He's kept clean sheets. Rasmus A, shout out to you. Thanks. Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Appreciate it in the comments. Also, your mod, just in case you didn't know, with the blue tag and everything. So, but yeah, David De Gea for me, David De Gea, I feel he's confident again. I feel he is confident again, and I think that is very, very, very important that he's confident again, because certainly in the beginning of the season, it looked like there were a lot of fans, including myself, that thinking maybe we should give Romero a chance, maybe we should look even at Dean Henderson. But I think the fact that we've got a couple of back-to-back clean sheets and that he's been involved in them, I think has really, really given De Gea the confidence. And he hasn't had that much to do. Raymond Moore, shout out to you, mate. Hi, mate. How you doing? You all right? Shout out to you guys. I'm really, really happy that David De Gea at least looks like he's getting back to his best. While I don't think he's been tested a lot, I'm happy that David De Gea looks comfortable, and hopefully as we go into this latter end of the season, that David De Gea will actually will save us and push us and help us get into the top 4, which I hope we will. So David De Gea at number 8, up from number 10 from last week. So who is at number 7? Maybe it might surprise people, maybe it might not, but Nemanja Matich at number 7. Matich for me has you know, he deserves to be here. You know, a lot of people say he's slow. A lot of people will say that he you know, he doesn't contribute much. But the reality is that Nemanja Matich is our only centre back. That's it. You know, sorry, not centre back. Sorry, he's our only central defensive midfielder. You know, who has that in mind. And I just think that with yes, McTominay's back. Yes, Fred is there, and yes, Pogba will be coming back as well, potentially even as early as next week against City. But with Matich, it's clear that when Matich plays, I feel that we're more stable. We are more stable without him. You could see that when we played against when he wasn't there. Georgia B, shout out to you. Greetings. Go Watford, beat the Scousers. I hope so, but I doubt it. But for me, Nemanja Matich, he's in a number 7. He's been having good weeks. He's been having good time with it all, and I just think that he deserves to be where he is. I mean, I don't think he's a long-term solution for Manchester United, and I do think in the summer window we do need to find a replacement central defensive midfielder. We've got to remember that before, in Ollie's Gunnar Solskjaer's 3-month crusade, where he was dominating everything, Matich was the only holding midfielder. It was him, Herrera, and Pogba, and he was doing fine. And I have no doubt that he can do fine again. You know, so it's just that I feel that his pace element is what lets him down. But for me, as I've said several times this channel, I think dropping Matich would be a mistake, because I feel that likes of McTominay, likes of Fred, and Pogba et al. Do not have the defensive discipline that Matich has. So he's had a good week. Nemanja Matich at number 7. And also for those who are watching, please like the vid, share and subscribe to REDEVILSTUDIO. I'd really, really appreciate it. Like I said, this is a weekly top 10 list. So at number 6, someone who I also think has started to improve a bit is Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire at number 6. Harry Maguire, I feel, has he's had a difficult entry to Manchester United season. I still believe that the Harry Maguire Lindelof partnership is not the best partnership going forward. That is my opinion. But what I do think is important, at least for me anyway, is that with Harry Maguire, maybe unlike say Lindelof, you've got someone who's good in the air. He is obviously our captain as well, so you can't really drop your captain. Even though I disagree with the fact that he's made a captain only a couple of summers after he joined Manchester United. What does that say? But anyway, regardless, what I would say is that Harry Maguire, he just looks more comfortable now. He looks more reassured. I think he knows what he wants to do. He is at least starting to be a better lead in terms of organising the defence, and you can see that because we haven't obviously conceded that many goals over the last couple of games. And you will notice there are a lot of defenders here. That's just simply because we've kept clean sheets and they deserve recognition. So Harry Maguire for me, a good number 6. He definitely needs to be there, and he jumps up the rank from actually 8th from last week. So Harry Maguire is our new number 6, jumping up from 8th from last week. So moving on, number 5, another defender I think has been doing very well. Now this is Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, number 5. Luke Shaw has really, so Georgia Beast is Bruno for captain, Fred mate. Feel like, yo mate, can you do call-ins? Not for this show, but actually I'm going to be doing, and this is just a word to everyone, I'm going to be doing an 8 o'clock show live where we're going to be doing a live Europa League draw reaction, and also can United get top 4? And for that, I can do call-ins. What I will probably end up doing is putting the invite link into that comments, and I'll have you guys on the show where you can basically just sort of have your say, just like I will. So stay tuned for that. So not on this show, but the 8 o'clock show. Stay tuned. I will post a link on Twitter and in the description for you guys to get involved, so you can be on the show and have your say. So stay tuned. That's 8 o'clock UK time. Sorry. So yeah, going back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw for me, he's gone from strength to strength, man. He has gone for strength to strength. And the way Luke Shaw is playing now, I think reminds me of his times at Southampton. I feel these times at Southampton, he was not only was he good going forward, but he was good defensively. He was putting crosses in, which he is doing now. And I feel like on that left side, because if I'm honest, guys, on the left side, I genuinely thought we might have needed a replacement. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Feel like, mate, is that like Skype or Discord? You lost me. No, so basically, I'm using a software program called StreamYard, which is basically, so what happens is I post the link in a description or on Twitter. You click the link, and that will basically just sort of invite you into the broadcast studio that I'm there. And basically, you'll basically be on the show, if that makes any sense. It's actually it's a lot more straightforward than using Skype or Discord, because not only will you be in the show, and it's just a lot easier to sort of moderate and stuff. So, but I'll let everyone know close to the time. But yeah, Luke Shaw deserves the 5th spot in my opinion. He comes up from 6th compared to last week. Yeah, let me know what you think. Post in the comments. Do you think Luke Shaw has been one of our best players for Manchester United? Certainly in the top 5 best players for Manchester United this season. Let me know in the comments in the video below, and make sure that you like the vid. So we're now getting into territory here. And I think that number 4 is this guy, Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial, 50 million down the drain. Tony Martial scores again. That is Anthony Martial in a nutshell. He constantly gets critics. He constantly gets criticism. And yeah, Anthony Martial just does it for Manchester United. He scored in his last 3 appearances for Manchester United, and while he has got a bit of an ankle injury, I hope that he will be fit to play against Everton. Despite the fact that Rashford has obviously been injured, I feel that it has helped that Igalo's come in, because suddenly we have someone that doesn't put the pressure on him. He could get much needed rest, for example, like he had. Just imagine, for example, if Igalo wasn't here, Martial probably would have been forced potentially to play, or maybe like a Pereira or a Lingard might have had to sort of come in, and the game might be different. But thankfully, because of Igalo, the pressure on Martial will not be as much, and hopefully, obviously, we can we can push in. Shout out to you guys in the comments. Telba says hello. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate it. Raymond Moore, agree. Luke Shaw has been solid for us past few games. I absolutely. This is just the thing. I think that he gets his criticism, but if he's fit, he's doing well. And I think that we don't need to go into some to get a new left back when we've got him and Brandon Williams fighting off. Pretty live. It's not like a landline, is it, where you charge on the rates and the link and chat feel. No, it's not. It's not. Just stay tuned for the 8 o'clock show, 8 o'clock UK show coming, and I'll explain everything. So because that's going to be a good show where we talk about, I react to basically the Europa League draw with United and also the other teams, and then we have a real proper discussion on whether United can actually push on and get top 4 of the squad that we have. So yes, number 4, Anthony Martial. Where would we be without this guy? This is a player who people are saying that Tammy Abraham is better, that Harry Kane is better. Well, I'm sorry, but Anthony Martial on form is better than Tammy Abraham. He's better than Harry Kane. He's better than Jamie Vardy. He is a player. He is a finisher, and that's the difference right now. I might even argue and say controversially that he might even be better than Aubameyang, but I won't go there. Won't go there. Arsenal bans. Right. So moving on to position number 3. You can tell I like my defenders, and it goes to Wan-Bissaka. He's dropped a bit. Wan-Bissaka was actually second. He's dropped a bit. As Martial dropped a bit to third. But what can you say about Wan-Bissaka, man? Wan-Bissaka is the G. He just has been, I would argue, he's been our most consistent player since the beginning of the season. 1 or 2 mistakes here or there, so, and he would be higher, but for the fact that I feel that these 2 players, you probably know, have just been really, really good for Manchester United. But Wan-Bissaka, for me, has been the most reliable Manchester United player today. And I'd almost forgotten what a good right back is. Yes, he could be improved, better going forward, etc. We all know that. But the reality is that Wan-Bissaka has enabled Manchester United to be rock solid at that position. So much so that teams don't go down that side. They'll either try and double up on him, which obviously gives us time to basically regroup because 2 of their players will be against him, trying to sort of swamp him. Or they'll go down the left side because they know it's difficult to get down that side, to get against Wan-Bissaka. I just think that he's top 3 definitely. George B says like Wan-Bissaka with a real right wing to play off. I agree. I think one of the things that people don't. That's a good point actually, George B, because I think one of the things that people don't realize is that if there was an actual right winger in front of him, Daniel James to me is not a right winger. He's a left winger. That's his better position. Lingard is not a right winger. Mata is not a right winger. Pereira is not a right winger. So we need to get an actual right winger, either a Sancho or a Traore, someone. And it's weird. I just feel like we're almost there. We just have, 2 or 3 positions in the summer next season. And I think we actually have a United squad that can actually challenge and do big things. At right wing, at central defensive midfield, and a forward. And I think, Booyah, potentially we've got a squad that can potentially compete for big things. It's there. And as George B said, I think that, with an actual right winger, not only will he not be double teamed going forward, as George B has said, but I think, assist wise, contribution wise, he'll be helped. So yeah, for me, Wan-Bissaka are most reliable at number 3. And hopefully in the summer we can actually sign a right winger. Number 2 isn't going to surprise anyone. Or it might surprise, who knows? We'll get in the debates. It's Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez is our number 2. And it was always going to be between Bruno Fernandez and Fred. Bruno Fernandez has been climbing up. He was 5th actually last week. He's now come to 2nd because Bruno Fernandez feels right now like the heart and soul of Manchester United Football Club. He really, really is. I think that when his English gets better, I feel like he could even be captain. He should be captain. I actually feel that, is it wrong for me to say that next season, if Bruno Fernandes continues to play this way, that he should get the number 7? I just think that, I mean, he's not at number 7 in terms of style, but I feel that that's what he should get, because he's creative, he creates opportunities, he's good at set pieces in terms of delivery, corners, free kicks, his passing range is good. He just he just, you can just tell, especially in the Europa League game where he came off and Lingard came on, and you could basically sort of see the difference. He at some point he needs to be captain, possibly even get number 7 shirt. I think he's a leader on the field, and I would even argue more so than Maguire at times. But for me, Bruno Fernandez is right now certainly our second. Rasmus A disagrees, said he's definitely number 1 for me. Well. I'll come to my justification why I think Fred is first. I think this might be the last week that Fred is first, depending on what happens tomorrow against Everton. And I really hope that Bruno Fernandes helps us to beat Everton tomorrow, especially the Chelsea result. We'll talk about that later at 8 o'clock. He's just been a revelation. And the reality is that if we get top 4 this season, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is kept in the job next season, it will be because of this man. It will be because of this signing. And I think what is painful, and I've said this over and over and over again, is that we had the opportunity to sign this player in the summer and we didn't. Just imagine how many points, how many games we would have won had Bruno Fernandes actually been at Manchester United since the summer. I actually think we would have been clearly in top 4, possibly ahead, definitely ahead of Chelsea, maybe even ahead of Leicester if Bruno Fernandes was with us in the summer. He's been a revelation. He's a talented player. He misses out on top sort this week, and I'll give you my justification soon. But before I do that, John Pretty likes to make out to your Twitter to account. Can't wait until we speak to you later, my guy. Yep, I will certainly have you and a lot. And for anyone who wants to be on the broadcast, I'll be having a few of you guys on where we will have a live discussion about the Europa League and also about top 4. So it'll be really, really good to have you on Free Live. I appreciate it. 8 o'clock UK time. The reminder, the video should be on YouTube. So just like the vid, head over there and stay tuned. Jordan's English is ready. It is very good already. It is good already. And that's why I think, for me, just give him time to settle. And then you give him the captaincy next season or towards the end of the season. That's what I think. Certainly, there's a lot to expect from Bruno Fernandes, man. Am I surprised that he came in? It feels like, I'll make this point in Bruno Fernandes. There's a lot of talk, a lot of time when people say, oh, well, players need time to settle in and to adapt. And, Bruno Fernandes didn't need any time to settle in, didn't need any time to adapt. He came in and he worked wonders. He did. Raymond Moore says, Aaron has been getting all the hate because he can't cross his ball. He's defender first. He's the cross job to front way. Exactly. And as Georgia B said earlier, the fact is, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not playing with a right wing in front of him. So if there was actually a right winger in front of him whose job it was to do that, then he probably wouldn't be getting that stick. But because we don't actually have one, he's getting it. But you're right, he's a defender first and a very good defender at that. Goodness knows what we were doing with Ashley Young, frankly. Although you could argue Ashley Young's crossing ability is better than Wan-Bissaka's. Fair play. Should be much better than his. Bruno Fernandes, yes, said at a 2, he's definitely number 1 for me. So obviously everyone should know who my number 1 is. It shouldn't really be any surprise, and I think Fred just gets it this week, guys. Fred does get it this week. Fred has been phenomenal, guys. And the guy has been the heart and soul of our attacking midfield. It's just so surprising. I wouldn't say surprising. I think that when you give a guy a chance, because Pep wanted him actually at Man City, people forget. And the reality is that when he was given games, because Fred kept on being in and out the side, not getting games, the fact that McTominay and Pogba got injured gave Fred his opportunity, and he's grabbed it. And frankly, when Pogba comes back, McTominay comes back, you can't drop Fred. You can rest Fred, but you can't drop him. You cannot drop Fred from this team. He has been that good. When you top it off of the fact that he scored obviously 2 goals in the game against Club Brugge, that for me was what clinched it. I think had he had a quieter game against Club Brugge, Bruno Fernandez might have taken the top spot. But Fred just has been consistently good. You know, he has been really, really good for us, especially when we have a Matich, Fred, and I hope we play that against Everton tomorrow, and I'll be doing my preview tomorrow about that. But a Matich, Fred, and Bruno Fernandez midfield has helped us tremendously well. And this guy who has almost a transformation this season, who has been tenacious on the ball, who's passionate about the badge, more importantly, and Pastor Fred, man, Pastor Fred, who spoke out before and was like, listen, guys, we need to be better. We need to be good. We need to push on. He pushed on, and he's backed it up with his performances, you know? So for me, Fred, at least right now anyway, is actually number one in terms of our top 10 players at Manchester United currently. That's no shade on Bruno Fernandes or anybody else, but for me, he's been our most improved player of the season. He could possibly be player of the season for Manchester United, depending on how Wan-Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes do towards the end of the season. But for me, all props to Fred, and long may he continue. And the reality, like I said, is that, you know, with Pogba coming back, and that's the question, and we'll probably talk about it tonight. If Pogba is fit, do you guys see Pogba coming back into this team? Because right now, honestly, I don't know where he comes in. I don't know. Georgia B says, dang, Watford should have scored. They should have, but they didn't, which is fairly annoying. Razman, I know you update this rank week by week, but if you were to rank the top 10 of the current season till now, would Greenwood be there? For me, he would, even though he hasn't played much for us. Yes, in fact, I probably will, at the end of the season, I will probably do something like a top 10, the top 10 best Manchester United players in the 2019-2020 season live show, something like that, like I'm doing now. But yeah, this is based on a kind of like a weekly sort of ranking, people coming on. In fact, Greenwood missed out on 10th, I think. I just thought that Igalo did need the shout out just ahead, just because of the goal that he scored and also what he's actually bringing to this United side as well. So yeah, guys, that's a top 10. Obviously, Fred at the list. Thank you guys so much for everyone that is watching. Sorry. Please like the vid, like, share, and subscribe to Reddit. So let me know in the comments if you guys like this. You know, so like it's a new show that I'm doing. It'll be brief, but hopefully you all guys like this. It's something I want to do on Saturdays, either Saturday mornings or Saturday evenings. If you do it, please like in the video and please comment after the video. Comment in on my video, not in the live chat, but in the comments in the video underneath, because it actually really helps the video and the channel as well to get more people to come to the channel. If you like this content, then please give me some feedback. I really appreciate it. Right for his life, mate, do this, but invite people on to take on the broadcast. Okay, yep, I will certainly consider that for next week, definitely. But stay tuned for a live broadcast or live show at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned, where we will once again be talking about Manchester United. This time, a Europa League live reaction, as well as a discussion whether Manchester United can get top 4. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a nice evening, guys. See you at 8 o'clock UK time, and cheers.